The sun was rising over the Morrison ranch in Wyoming. It was spring, 1887. The morning air was cool and fresh. Dust covered everything like a thin brown blanket. Tom Morrison was an old rancher. He had gray hair and rough hands. He had been working with horses for 30 years. Tom thought he knew everything about horses. He had seen horses get sick. He had seen horses get injured. He had delivered many baby horses. But he had never seen anything like what was happening that morning. His son Jacob came running from the barn. Jacob was young and strong. He worked hard on the ranch every day, but now his face looked worried. His boots made clouds of dust as he ran. "Pa! Pa!" Jacob shouted. "You need to come right now." Tom put down his tools. "What's wrong, son?" "It's Bella. She had her baby last night. But something is very wrong." Bella was a paint horse. She had white and brown spots on her body. She was 5 years old. Tom had owned her since she was young. Bella was always gentle and calm. Children could pet her. Anyone could ride her. She was the sweetest horse on the ranch. "What do you mean, wrong?" Tom asked. "She won't let anyone near the baby. She's acting crazy, like a wild horse. I've never seen her like this." Tom felt worried. He followed Jacob to the barn. They walked quickly across the dusty yard. The barn was old and made of wood. Inside, it smelled like hay and horses. It was darker and cooler than outside. They heard Bella before they saw her. She was making terrible sounds, not normal horse sounds. These sounds were full of fear and anger. Tom had never heard Bella make sounds like this. They walked to her stall. Bella was in the corner. Her eyes were wide and wild. Her ears were flat against her head. This meant she was very upset. Her whole body was shaking. She looked ready to fight. Behind her legs stood a tiny baby horse. The foal was just born. It was dark brown, almost black. It had one white mark on its back leg. The baby looked confused. Its legs were still wobbly and weak. "I tried to check the baby," Jacob said quietly. "I just wanted to make sure it was healthy. But Bella charged at me. She tried to attack me, Pa." Tom looked at Bella carefully. The horse he knew was gone. This was a different horse. This horse looked terrified and dangerous. "Easy, girl," Tom said in a soft voice. "It's just me. Nobody will hurt your baby." But Bella didn't calm down. She moved her body between Tom and the baby. She showed her teeth. She stamped her feet on the ground. Hay flew everywhere. Her breathing was fast. Sweat covered her body even though the barn was cool. Tom stepped back. "This isn't normal," he said. He had seen many mother horses protect their babies. That was natural, but this was different. Bella looked desperate. She looked like she would die to protect her foal. But why? What was she protecting it from? What should we do? Jacob asked. "Give her space," Tom said. "Maybe she just needs time." But Tom didn't believe his own words. Bella wasn't just nervous. She was scared of something specific, something Tom couldn't see or understand. They left the stall door closed. They stood in the barn hallway and watched from far away. Bella didn't relax. She kept watching them. Her eyes never left them. The baby tried to drink milk from its mother. It stumbled on weak legs. Bella helped it, but kept watching the humans. "Should we call the animal doctor?" Jacob asked. Tom thought about this. Doc Summers was the veterinarian. He lived in town 15 miles away. "Not yet," Tom said. "Let's watch her today. Maybe she will get better." But Bella didn't get better. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky. Bella just stood there. She didn't eat any food. She didn't drink any water. She just guarded her baby like a soldier. Her body shook from being so tired. But she wouldn't lie down. She wouldn't rest. She wouldn't stop watching for danger. Not even for 1 second. Tom brought a wooden box and sat on it. He watched Bella from outside the stall. His wife Sarah came with food and water for him. Sarah was a strong woman. She had grown up on a ranch too. She understood horses. "That horse will fall down from being so tired," Sarah said. "How long has she been standing?" "Since last night," Tom answered. "Maybe 12 hours, maybe more." Sarah shook her head. "She can't keep doing this. The baby needs to eat properly." But Bella is too scared to let it. They both watched the sad scene. The baby tried to drink milk again, but it was getting weaker. Tom could see it. The baby moved slower. It could barely stand. It needed food and rest, but its mother's fear was stopping everything. "What could make her act this way?" Sarah asked. "Bella has always been so sweet." "I don't know," Tom said, "but she knows something we don't. She's protecting that baby from something real to her." Afternoon came. Tom tried one more time to get close. He moved very slowly. He spoke softly, but Bella's reaction was violent. She stood on her back legs. Her front legs kicked the air. She screamed. The sound was full of terror and rage. Tom jumped back quickly. His heart was beating fast. He had almost been hurt. The baby had fallen in the hay when Bella reared up. Now it lay there, too weak to stand quickly. Bella turned to it immediately. She made soft sounds. She touched it gently with her nose. She helped it stand up. Tom saw something important in that moment. Bella was violent toward humans, but she was completely gentle with her baby. She loved it so much. She was willing to die for it. But why? What secret was Bella keeping? What was she so desperate to hide? As the sun began to set, Tom knew the truth. They couldn't wait anymore. Both horses were dying from this. The baby was starving. Bella was exhausted. If they didn't do something soon, both mother and baby would die. Tom sent Jacob to town. "Bring Doc Summers," he said. "Bring him fast. We're running out of time." Jacob rode away on a fast horse. Dust rose behind him. Tom sat in the barn and watched Bella. The Mare's legs were shaking so badly now. She could barely stand. But still she wouldn't give up. Still she kept her body between her baby and the world. "What are you hiding, girl?" Tom whispered. "What are you so afraid we'll find?" Bella looked at him with exhausted eyes. In those eyes, Tom saw love. Pure, fierce, desperate love. A mother's love that was stronger than fear, stronger than pain, stronger than death itself. And Tom knew that whatever secret Bella was keeping, it was something that mattered more than life. The barn grew darker. The sun was almost gone. Soon the doctor would come. Soon they would discover the truth. And Tom had a feeling that when they did, nothing would ever be the same again.
Night came to the Morrison ranch. The sky turned dark blue, then black. Stars appeared one by one. Tom lit a lantern in the barn. The yellow light made shadows dance on the walls. But Bella didn't care about the darkness. She just kept standing, just kept watching, just kept protecting her baby. Tom pulled his wooden box closer to the stall. He sat down again. His back hurt from sitting so long. His eyes were tired, but he wouldn't leave. He needed to be there when the doctor came. Inside the stall, Bella swayed on her feet. She was so tired she could barely stand straight. Her head hung low. Her eyes were half closed. But every time Tom moved, even a little bit, her head came up. Her eyes opened wide. She was ready to fight again. The baby lay in straw now. It was too weak to stand anymore. Its breathing was fast and shallow. The little horse needed milk. It needed rest, but it was getting neither. Tom felt his heart break watching it. "Please, Bella," Tom said softly. "Please let me help. Your baby is dying." But Bella just stared at him with those desperate eyes. She couldn't trust him. She couldn't trust anyone. Hours passed slowly. Tom heard an owl hooting outside. He heard mice running in the hay. He heard Bella's labored breathing, but nothing else. The ranch was silent and still. Then, finally, he heard it. Hoofbeats. A wagon. Voices. Jacob was back with the doctor. Tom stood up stiffly. His legs were sore. He walked to the barn door. Jacob was helping an old man down from the wagon. This was Doc Summers. He was older than Tom, maybe 70 years. His hands shook a little, but his eyes were sharp and clear. He had been an animal doctor for 40 years. He had seen everything. "Where's this mare?" Doc Summers asked. His voice was rough but kind. "This way," Tom said. "But I warn you, document. She's not herself. She's dangerous." They walked to the stall together. Tom carried the lantern. The light showed Bella, still standing over her baby. She looked like a ghost horse now. So tired, so thin, so desperate. Doc Summers stopped at the stall door. He didn't try to go in. He just looked. He watched Bella for a long time. He looked at how she stood, how she breathed, how she kept looking at her baby and then back at the humans. The doctor said. "Interesting. What is it, Doc?" Tom asked. "Tom, have you really looked at the baby? Up close?" "No," Tom admitted. "Can't get close enough. Bella won't let me." Doc Summers nodded slowly. "I've seen this before. Just once, many years ago. A mare acting exactly like this." "What does it mean?" Jacob asked. The old doctor sighed. "The mare isn't protecting the baby from you. She's protecting you from discovering something about the baby." Tom felt cold suddenly. What? What would we discover? Something she thinks will make you take the baby away. Or worse. The words hung in the air like smoke. Tom understood now. Bella knew something was different about her baby. Something wrong. And she thought if humans found out, they would hurt it. On many ranches, if a baby horse was born wrong, ranchers didn't keep it. It cost money to feed horses. If a horse couldn't work, couldn't be sold, it wasn't worth keeping. Some ranchers would kill such a horse right away. Others would abandon it in the wild to die. Bella knew this somehow. Animals knew things. They understood the human world in ways people didn't expect. And she was fighting to keep her baby secret. Fighting to keep it alive. "We have to see the baby," Doc Summers said. "We have to know what's wrong. But she won't let us near. Can we give her medicine to make her sleep?" Jacob asked. "We could sedate her," the doctor said. "But she's already so weak and stressed. It might be dangerous." "I don't want to drug her," Tom said firmly. "There has to be another way." They stood there thinking. Three men trying to solve an impossible problem. A mother who wouldn't give up. A baby that was dying. And a secret that no one knew. "What if we open the stall?" Tom said suddenly. "Let them go outside? Maybe if Bella doesn't feel trapped, she'll calm down." "It's worth trying," Doc Summers agreed. Tom carefully opened the stall door. He swung it wide and then back far away. Bella watched him with suspicious eyes. She didn't move for a long time. She just stared at the open door like it might be a trap. Then she looked down at her baby. The foal was so still, so weak. Bella nudged it gently with her nose. She made soft sounds. The baby didn't respond at first. Bella tried again. She pushed the baby more firmly. Finally, the little horse moved. It lifted its head. Its eyes opened slowly. With great effort, it stood up. Its legs shook badly. It could barely stand. Bella began to walk toward the open door. She took tiny, careful steps. She kept looking back at her baby. The foal stumbled after its mother. Each step looked painful. Each step was hard. Together, they left the stall. Mother and baby walked down the barn hallway. The lantern light followed them. They went through the barn door and out into the night. The paddock gate was open. Bella led her baby into the small, fenced area. Fresh grass grew in the paddock. A water trough sat in the corner. The moon was bright overhead. It lit everything with silver light. Bella walked to the middle of the paddock and stopped. She looked around. She checked for danger. Then, finally, her legs gave out. She fell to the grass. Her body collapsed. She couldn't stand anymore. The baby fell beside her. Immediately, it tried to drink milk from its mother. Bella let it nurse. She was too exhausted to do anything else. "Now," Doc Summers whispered. "While she's down." The three men moved slowly. They approached from different sides. They didn't want to scare Bella. They walked on soft feet through the grass. Bella's head came up. Her eyes went wide with fear again. She tried to stand but couldn't. Her body was too tired. She made a warning sound deep in her throat. But she couldn't fight anymore. Doc Summers reached them first. He knelt in the grass beside the nursing baby. He leaned in close to look. Tom watched the doctor's face carefully. He saw the exact moment Doc Summers understood. The old man's face changed. His eyes got sad. His shoulders dropped. "Oh, Bella," the doctor said softly. "Oh, you poor, brave girl." "What?" Tom asked. His heart was beating fast. "What's wrong with the baby?" "Come see," Doc Summers said. "But be quiet. Be gentle." Tom knelt beside the doctor. At first, he didn't understand. The baby looked perfect. It was beautiful, dark brown with that one white sock. Its eyes were closed peacefully as it drank milk. Then Tom saw the ears. The right ear was normal, pointed and perfect, but the left ear was different. It was small, crumpled, folded in on itself, like it had never grown properly. And that wasn't all. Tom looked closer. The left side of the baby's face was slightly flat, not quite the same shape as the right side. "Birth defect," Doc Summers said quietly. "Happens sometimes." The baby was pressed wrong in the womb. The ear and part of the skull didn't form right. Tom sat back on the grass. Understanding flooded through him like cold water. Bella had known. She had known her baby was different. She had known humans might not accept it, might not want it, might take it away, or worse. So she had fought. She had starved herself. She had exhausted herself. She had been willing to die, all to keep her baby's secret safe, all to protect her imperfect foal from a cruel world. "She thought we'd kill it," Tom said. His voice shook. "Or take it away," the doctor said. She was protecting her baby the only way she knew how. Tom looked at Bella. The mare was watching him with exhausted, fearful eyes. Even now, even collapsed and helpless, she was ready to fight if he tried to hurt her baby. And Tom realized something important. This wasn't just about a horse. This was about love. About a mother's love for her child. About being willing to sacrifice everything for someone you love. Even when that someone isn't perfect. Even when the world says they're not worth it. Tom felt tears in his eyes. He had never cried over a horse before, but he was crying now. Tom Morrison stayed on his knees in the grass. Tears ran down his weathered face. He was not ashamed. Jacob came closer and knelt beside his father. The young man looked at the baby horse with a crumpled ear. His eyes also filled with tears. "Pa," Jacob said softly, "what are we going to do?" It was a simple question, but the answer would change everything. Tom looked at his son. Jacob was almost a man now, 20 years old. Soon he would run this ranch. The choice Tom made tonight would teach Jacob what kind of man to be, what kind of rancher to be. Tom thought about the ranch. He had built a good reputation over 30 years. People knew Morrison horses were strong and healthy. What would people say if he kept a deformed foal? Would they laugh at him? Would they think he was stupid? Would they stop buying his horses? Then he looked at Bella again. The exhausted mare lay in the grass, her sides heaving. She had fought for more than a day without rest, without food, without water. She had been willing to die for her baby. That meant something. That meant everything. "We keep them both," Tom said firmly. His voice was strong now. "No more tears. The baby stays with its mother. It lives here on this ranch for as long as it lives." Jacob smiled. Relief washed over his young face. "Really, Pa?" "Really," Tom said. "That foal is worth more than 10 perfect horses. What's mother did? I've never seen love like that. Pure and fierce. That's worth something." Doc Summers put his hand on Tom's shoulder. "Good man," the old doctor said simply. Sarah had followed them from the house. She stood at the paddock fence now, watching. When she heard Tom's words, she smiled through her tears. She was proud of her husband, but the hard part wasn't over. The hard part was just beginning. They had made the choice to keep the foal, but Bella didn't know that. Bella still thought her baby was in danger. She still thought humans would hurt it. How could they show her she was wrong? How could they make her understand? "She needs food and water," Doc Summers said, "but she won't take it from us." "Not yet." Tom stood up slowly. His knees hurt. He was getting old. He walked to the barn and came back with a bucket of grain. Good oats and corn. He also brought a bucket of fresh, cool water. He set both buckets about 10 feet from Bella, not too close. He didn't want to scare her. Then he backed away. Bella watched him with tired, suspicious eyes. She didn't move toward the food or water. She just watched. "We wait," Tom said. "We give her time to understand." They pulled chairs from the house and sat outside the paddock fence. They just sat there in the moonlight, not threatening, Not pushing, just being present. Sarah brought her knitting. She sat and worked with the yarn, her needles clicking softly. She talked to Bella in a gentle voice. She talked about the weather, about the garden, about nothing important, just soft, kind words. Jacob sat reading a book out loud. His voice was steady and calm. The words didn't matter. It was the tone that mattered. Safe, peaceful, non-threatening. Tom just sat in silence. Sometimes he tossed fresh hay over the fence. Sometimes he just watched. Hours passed. The moon moved across the sky. Stars wheeled overhead. The night was quiet except for Sarah's voice, Jacob's reading, and the sounds of the ranch sleeping. Slowly, Bella began to relax. Her breathing became steadier. Her eyes weren't quite so wild. She watched the humans, but the desperate fear was fading. The baby recovered faster than its mother. After nursing and resting, the little foal found its strength again. It stood up on wobbly legs. It explored the small paddock. It sniffed at the grass. It stumbled over its own feet. It did all the normal things baby horses do. Bella watched every movement her baby made. But she seemed less frantic now. The baby was eating. The baby was moving. The baby was alive. That helped calm the mare's frightened heart. As the moon began to set, Bella finally stood up. She walked slowly to the water bucket. She sniffed it carefully. Then she drank. She drank for a long time, her throat working steadily. More than a day without water. She was so thirsty. Next, she ate some of the grain. She kept the baby close to her side. She kept watching the humans. But the wild edge was gone from her eyes now. "That's good, girl," Tom said softly. "That's real good." Doc Summers came back in the morning. The sun was just rising, painting the sky pink and gold. He checked both horses carefully. He moved slowly. He talked the whole time. He let Bella see his hands before he touched her. The mare was still nervous. Her body tensed when the doctor approached. But she didn't fight. She didn't attack. She let him examine her. Let him check her legs and her breathing. Then Doc Summers moved to the baby. This was the real test. Would Bella let him touch her foal? The doctor reached out slowly. His old hand moved toward the baby's crumpled ear. Bella's body went stiff. Her ears went back. A warning. "It's okay," the doctor said calmly. "I won't hurt your baby. I promise." He touched the small, deformed ear gently. Bella trembled but didn't attack. He ran his hands over the baby's flattened face, over its body, checking everything. "Both horses will be fine," he announced. "Bella is exhausted and very dehydrated, but she'll recover with rest and care. The baby is strong. The ear doesn't matter. The flat face doesn't matter. This foal will grow up healthy." "Can it work?" Tom asked. "Can it pull a wagon or carry a rider?" "Absolutely," Doc Summers said. "This is just cosmetic. How it looks. The foal will be just as strong and capable as any other horse. It just won't win any beauty contests." Tom nodded. He felt relief flood through him. The baby would be okay. That was all that mattered. Doc Summers packed his bag. "Give them quiet and peace," he said. "Let Bella learn that you're not a threat. It might take days or weeks. Be patient." The doctor left. Tom and his family continued their vigil. They sat by the paddock. They talked softly. They brought food and water. They just existed peacefully near the horses. Day by day, Bella learned to trust again. She learned that these humans were different. They weren't going to hurt her baby. They weren't going to take it away. After 3 days, Bella walked to the fence where Tom stood. She reached her head over and sniffed his hand. It was the first time she had approached a human since the baby was born. Tom stood very still. "Hey there, girl," he whispered. Bella blew softly through her nose. Then she let Tom touch her face. Let him scratch behind her good ear. It was a moment of forgiveness. A moment of trust restored. The baby came over too, curious and brave. It pushed its nose against Tom's other hand. Tom carefully touched the crumpled ear. The baby didn't pull away. Bella watched this. She saw Tom touch her baby's deformed ear with gentle hands. With kind hands. And something changed in the mare's eyes. She understood now. This human accepted her baby. Crumpled ear and all. Flat face and all. He wasn't going to hurt it. Tom looked at Bella and saw tears in the mare's eyes. Yes, tears. Animals could cry. He had seen it before. These were tears of relief. Tears of gratitude. "You're both safe here," Tom promised. "I swear on my life. You're both safe." Bella nickered softly. Then she lowered her head and gently nuzzled her baby's crumpled ear, the very feature she had fought so hard to hide. In that moment, Tom understood something profound. Bella wasn't ashamed of her baby. She loved it exactly as it was. She had only been afraid of what cruel humans might do. But now she knew. These humans were different. These humans saw worth beyond perfection. And that changed everything. Summer came to Wyoming. The sun was hot and bright. The grass turned golden brown. Flowers bloomed in the fields. And the baby horse grew bigger and stronger every day. Sarah Morrison named the Foal Hope. It was a good name. The little horse represented hope for something better. Hope that being different didn't mean being worthless. Hope grew fast. Her legs became strong and steady. No more wobbling. No more stumbling. She could run faster than any foal Tom had ever seen. She jumped over small logs. She played in the paddock with joy and energy. Her coat was beautiful, dark chocolate brown, shiny and healthy. And yes, her left ear was still small and crumpled. Yes, the left side of her face was still slightly flat. But these things didn't slow her down. They didn't make her weak. Bella was herself again. The sweet, gentle Mare returned. She greeted Tom at the fence every morning. She nickered for carrots. She let Sarah brush her coat. She trusted humans again. But there was something new in Bella's eyes. A wisdom, a depth. She had fought for her baby and won. She had seen the best in humans when she expected the worst. This changed her. Word spread across Wyoming territory. Ranchers talked. Cowboys gossiped. Everyone heard about the foal with the crumpled ear, about the mare who almost died protecting it, about the rancher who kept them both. Some men laughed. They thought Tom Morrison was soft and foolish. Why keep a defective horse, they said. It's just wasting money and feed. But other men came to see Hope with respect. They understood what Bella's fight meant. They understood that some things mattered more than money. One hot afternoon in July, a stranger rode into the ranch. He was young, maybe 25 years old. He wore a dusty hat and old clothes. His horse was tired from traveling. Tom met him at the gate. "Can I help you?" Tom asked. "My name is Daniel Ward," the stranger said. His voice was quiet and polite. "I heard you have a special foal here, one that's different from others. I came to see if the story was true." Tom felt defensive immediately. Was this man here to mock Hope? To laugh at Tom's choice? What about it? Tom said coldly. Daniel dismounted from his horse. He took off his hat. That's what Tom saw it. The young man's left ear was missing. Completely gone. There was only scarred skin where an ear should be. It looked like a birth defect or maybe an old injury. "I'd like to see the foal," Daniel said, "if that's all right with you. I traveled 50 miles to get here." Tom's defensiveness melted away. "Of course," he said gently. "Come with me." They walked together to the paddock. Hope was 3 months old now. She stood in the shade with her mother. When she saw visitors, she trotted over to the fence. Bella followed protectively but calmly. Daniel Ward stood very still. He looked at Hope's crumpled ear, at her slightly flat face. Then he smiled. It was the most genuine smile Tom had ever seen. "She's beautiful," Daniel said simply. "Not everyone thinks so," Tom admitted. "Not everyone can see past perfect," Daniel replied. He was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke again. "My father was a rancher too. When I was born like this, he touched the scarred place where his ear should be. My father was ashamed of me. He kept me hidden when important people visited. He told me I was a disappointment. When I was 15, I ran away." Tom listened without interrupting. Jacob had joined them now. Sarah too. They all listened to Daniel's story. "I worked on ranches where nobody knew my family," Daniel continued, "where I could just be another ranch hand. Nobody cared about my missing ear. They only cared if I could work hard. And I could." He reached through the fence. Hope came closer. Daniel touched her crumpled ear very gently. The foal didn't shy away. She seemed to understand that this human knew what it felt like to be different. "I heard about a mare who almost died protecting her imperfect foal," Daniel said. "About a rancher who decided that foal was worth keeping. I had to see if it was true. I had to know that somewhere in this hard world, being different didn't mean being worthless." Tom felt his throat tighten with emotion. "That foal is worth 10 perfect horses," he said. "What her mother did to protect her. I've never seen love like that. It taught me something important." "What did it teach you?" Daniel asked. "That worth isn't about being perfect. It's about heart, about courage, about the love others have for you." Daniel Ward nodded. Tears shone in his eyes. "Thank you," he said, "for showing me that." The young man visited several more times that summer. He helped with ranch work. He mended fences. He fed horses. He mucked out stalls. And he spent hours with Hope. The foal and the young man formed a special bond. They seemed to recognize something in each other. Hope would run to the fence when Daniel arrived. She would nuzzle his hand, follow him around the paddock. They were friends, kindred spirits. By August, Daniel asked Tom a question. "When Hope is old enough to train, could I buy her? I know she's special. I know she's valuable. But I'll pay whatever you ask." Tom thought about this. He looked at Daniel, at this young man who had been rejected by his own father for being different, at this kind soul who saw beauty where others saw flaws. "You can have her," Tom said. "No charge." Daniel's eyes went wide. "I can't accept that. It's too much." "Then work it off," Tom said. "Stay on the ranch. Help us through the winter. Earn your horse through honest work and kindness." Daniel's face lit up like the sunrise. "Really? You mean it?" "I mean it," Tom said. "Hope belongs with someone who understands her worth." "That's you." Daniel Ward stayed at the Morrison ranch. He became part of the family. He ate meals with them. He slept in the bunkhouse. He worked harder than any ranch hand Tom had ever hired. And every day, he spent time with Hope. He talked to her, played with her, helped Bella take care of her. The bond between man and horse grew stronger. When winter came, snow covered the ranch. Everything was white and cold and quiet. But inside the barn, there was warmth. Hope had grown tall and strong. Her coat was thick for winter. She was healthy and happy. Daniel taught her simple things. To come when called. To stand still when asked. To trust humans completely. Hope learned fast. She was smart, clever, eager to please. Bella watched from her stall. The old mare's eyes were peaceful. She saw her daughter thriving. She saw Daniel's gentle hands and kind heart. She knew Hope would be loved. One evening, as snow fell softly outside, Daniel sat in the barn with Hope. The young horse rested her head on his shoulder. He stroked her crumpled ear gently. "You and me," Daniel whispered. "We're the same. The world says we're not good enough. But we know the truth. We're exactly who we're supposed to be." Hope nickered softly, as if she understood every word. And maybe she did. Because sometimes the deepest understanding comes not from words, but from shared experience. From knowing what it feels like to be different, to be judged, to be loved anyway. In that quiet barn, with snow falling outside, two imperfect souls found perfect friendship. Spring returned to Wyoming. The snow melted. Green grass pushed through the brown earth. Flowers bloomed again. And Hope was now 1 year old. She was no longer a baby. She was becoming a young horse, ready to learn and work. Daniel Ward had stayed through the entire winter. He had earned his place on the Morrison ranch. Tom trusted him completely. Jacob considered him a brother. Sarah treated him like a second son. Now it was time to train Hope. Time to teach her to wear a saddle, to accept a bridle, to carry a rider. This was an important moment. Some horses learned easily. Others fought and resisted. Tom watched as Daniel entered the paddock with Hope. The young horse walked over immediately. She trusted Daniel completely. He showed her the saddle blanket first. Let her smell it. Touch it with her nose. "Good girl," Daniel said softly. "This won't hurt. I promise." He placed the blanket gently on her back. Hope stood perfectly still. She didn't flinch or run. She trusted this human who understood her. Next came the saddle. Daniel lifted it carefully and set it on Hope's back. The weight was new and strange. Hope shifted her feet nervously, but she didn't panic. She didn't buck or kick. "That's it," Daniel encouraged. "You're doing so good." Day by day, Hope learned. She learned faster than any horse Tom had ever seen. It was like she understood how precious her life was, how close she had come to never being born. She wanted to prove she was worth keeping. Within 2 weeks, Daniel was riding her. Hope carried him around the paddock with steady, confident steps. Her crumpled ear didn't affect her balance. Her flat face didn't affect her vision. She was strong and capable. By summer, Hope could do everything a working horse needed to do. She could cut cattle from a herd. She could pull a wagon. She could carry a rider for miles without tiring. She was extraordinary. News spread even further. People came from distant ranches to see the horse with the crumpled ear. Some came to mock, but they left in silence, impressed by what they saw. Hope was better than their perfect horses. One day, a wealthy rancher named Mr. Blackwell visited. He owned the biggest ranch in Wyoming. He had hundreds of horses, all perfect, all expensive. "I heard you keep defective horses now, Morrison," Mr. Blackwell said with a sneer. "Bad for business, isn't it?" Tom bristled at the insult. But before he could speak, Daniel stepped forward. "Would you like to see what this defective horse can do?" Daniel asked calmly. Mr. Blackwell laughed. "Sure, boy. Show me." Daniel led Hope to the training pen. Inside were several cattle that needed sorting. It was a difficult job. It required a smart, quick horse. Daniel mounted Hope. He gave her a gentle signal, and then everyone watched in amazement. Hope moved like lightning. She anticipated which cow would move before it moved. She cut left and right with incredible precision. She separated the cattle perfectly, driving each one into the correct pen. It took less than 5 minutes. Tom had never seen it done so fast or so well. Mr. Blackwell's mouth hung open. That's impossible," he stammered. "That's Hope," Daniel said proudly. The wealthy rancher left without another word. The mockery was gone from his face. He had learned something that day. Years passed. Hope became famous throughout Wyoming territory. People called her the miracle horse, the horse that shouldn't have lived but became legendary. She could find her way home through blizzards that blinded other horses. She could sense danger before humans saw it. She had courage that made men forget about her crumpled ear and flat face. Daniel Ward married a kind woman named Emma. They built a small house on Morrison land. Hope was their most prized possession. They treated her like family. Bella lived to see all of this. The old mare spent her final years in the best pasture on the ranch. She grazed peacefully in the sunshine. She watched her daughter become everything she had fought to protect. Bella saw Hope carry children safely, saw her work harder than any horse, saw her prove that different didn't mean less. The old mare's eyes were always peaceful now. She had won. Love had won. When Bella was 15 years old, she died quietly in her sleep one warm summer night. She simply laid down in the grass under the stars and didn't wake up. It was a peaceful death, a good death. The whole Morrison family mourned her. They buried her in the pasture she loved. Tom carved a wooden marker. It said, "Bella, a mother's love never dies." Hope stood by the grave for 3 days. She wouldn't leave. She just stood there, remembering the mother who had fought so hard to save her. Finally, Daniel led her away gently. But Hope was never quite the same after that. She worked just as hard. She was just as capable. But there was a sadness in her eyes. She missed her mother. Tom Morrison grew old. His hair turned completely white. His back bent from years of hard work. But he never regretted keeping Hope. Never regretted the choice he made that desperate night. He told the story to his grandchildren. They told their children. The story spread across Wyoming and beyond. The story of the mare who fought to protect her imperfect foal. The story of the rancher who chose love over profit. The story of a young man who found worth in what others rejected. Hope lived to be 23 years old. She worked almost until the end. When she finally grew too old, Daniel retired her to the same pasture where her mother had lived. She spent her final days in peace and comfort. When Hope died, half the territory came to pay respects. Cowboys took off their hats. Ranchers bowed their heads. Everyone knew this wasn't just a horse. This was a symbol, a reminder that worth isn't measured by perfection. They buried Hope next to Bella, mother and daughter together forever. Daniel carved another wooden marker. It said, "Hope, proof that love sees what others Mississippi." Years later, people still visited those graves. They brought their children. They told the story. And every time it was told, the message rang clear. Worth isn't about being perfect. It's about the strength of the bonds we make, the sacrifices we give, The courage we show when the world says give up. Bella had shown them all this truth. She had fought harder than fear. She had loved deeper than pain. And her legacy lived on. In barns across Wyoming, ranchers looked at their newborn foals differently now. If one was born with a defect, they remembered hope. They remembered Bella, and they thought twice before giving up on that life. Daniel Ward became a respected rancher himself. He always kept horses that other people rejected. The ones with scars. The ones with limps. The ones with crumpled ears. Every creature deserves a chance, he would say. Hope taught me that. And so the story lived on. Generation after generation. A Wild West legend that was more than just a tale. It was a truth. A reminder. A promise. That love sees what others miss. That courage comes in unexpected forms. That the greatest hearts sometimes beat inside the most imperfect bodies. And that a mother's love, fierce, desperate, and pure, can change the world forever. In the end, Bella didn't just save her foal's life. She saved something bigger. She saved the idea that every life has value. Every creature has worth. Every soul deserves a chance. That's what made her story legendary. Not the crumpled ear, not the flat face, but the love that refused to give up. The love that fought death itself. The love that changed hearts. And that kind of love never dies. It echoes through time. It lives in every person who chooses compassion over cruelty, who sees worth beyond perfection, who fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. Bella's story became Wyoming's story. Hope's legacy became everyone's legacy. And on quiet nights, when the wind blew across the prairie, some people swore they could still hear it. The soft nicker of a mare protecting her baby. The gentle whinny of a horse who proved that different could be extraordinary. The sound of love that refused to be forgotten. The sound of hope that would never die.